racing day, so loud out here I can't hear a thing. Man, the fans are going wild. And these drivers came to rock, and no place else but Fox knows how to do it NASCAR style. Boogity, 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 let's go racing, boys. Hey now, here we go, race day. Don't you be going slow. Keep that pedal down on the floor. Push it till the crowd can't take no more. Big hair since the flag came down. Behold, to the last lap around. Worked all week, it's time to play. Gonna get a little bit sideways. Hair since the flag came down. Behold, to the last lap around. Worked all week, it's time to play. Gonna get a little bit sideways.
Hello everybody and welcome to Daytona International Speedway for race number 1 of 18 here in Daytona Beach, Florida, the high banks for the Daytona 500. I'm here in the booth for today's season opener alongside none other than CRT Managing Director Tommy McIntyre. Tommy, how are you doing today?
Doing very well today at a beautiful Daytona Beach in Florida. Blue skies, and couldn't ask for any more. Looking forward to a good race here today.
It's been a good day, or a good week of racing so far. We had 2 duels, and it was the tale of 2 duels. One of the duels was pretty lackluster, one would say. They were kind of just taking it easy. And then the other duel, really, really chaotic, had a great finish to it. 3 CRT cars were in that one. Tommy, what do you really make of the whole duels and how people were playing it through and seeing how they could see their stuff for today's race?
Yeah, it looks like a lot of the guys were kind of just feeling it out and trying to take it fairly easy. You know, there's no point in going out and wrecking a good race car on duel day. You know, you want to keep your best stuff for when it really matters, when the points are on the board. But I think the CRT guys proved their worth. I think across the 2 duels, all of our drivers finished inside the top 10 in their respective ones. So yeah, I'm delighted and excited to see how we get on here now today.
First race of the year, it's going to be a 50-lap race, 2.5-mile track, drafting track, and the fuel window is going to be 18 to 25 laps. I don't think that will really play a factor in. I think we're going to see a few yellows before we really see pit stops come into play. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great day. Blue skies, like you said, it's going to be a beautiful day of racing. Let's get right into today's starting lineup for the Daytona 500. Row 1, Kyle Mabey takes the pole and Matthew Fastnot, 2 rookies on the front row. Our dual winners, Norris Toll, the Duel 1 winner, and Strokey Bangner, Duel 2. Ricardo Garcia and Brayson Collins are going to make up row number 3. Row 4, Blake Walker and Garrett Lamar. Row 5 sees Robbie Gordoff and Christopher Rennell, 2 CRT racing drivers. Row 6 is going to see Reed Simpson and Hunter Collier. Cars roll off as we roll into row number 7. Desquarius Greenhouse Jr. and Ian McDaniel, 2 Fords, as row 8 sees Brian Barone and Tyler Cook. Row 9 is going to see 2 as Tulsa Motorsports Fords, Michael Guthrie and Cam Wright Jr. Henry Guo and Quentin Haley are going to make up row number 10. Row 11 sees Joe Kraus and Santiago Nicholas. Row number 12 is going to have Aaron Gifford and Austin Green. Row 13 sees Zachary Ponson, number 16, and Harry Williams, the winningest driver in LIMECAR history. Chase Gibbons, Anthony Foss in row number 14. Row 15 sees Logan Williams and Jerry Chen, a DAF Racing brand. Row 16 is going to see Cam Arrow and Christian Visconti. Row number 17 has Grala, Richard Ridge. Row 18 is going to have Ethan Harrison and Chris Lilly rounding out towards the back of the field. To the rear, Nicholas Soa in row 19, as well as Jordan Madron. He had an incident in the duel, as well as Eris Yuko and Justin Haley. Any quick words, any quick thoughts before we get ready to go green here, Mr. McIntyre? We saw a lot of duels a few days ago.
Yeah, a lot of new faces, as well as some legacy teams in the field today. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Will that experience for different teams shine through, or will we see a new breakout star here? It's going to be an exciting one for sure.
I would say at a track like this, experience does prevail, but Lady Luck tends to choose who wins these types of races, and it might be no different. But as of right now, Kyle Maybe, Matthew Fastnot, they're going to be the ones taking us to the green flag here. Season 3 is underway here at Daytona. 2 Mudfish Motorsports Dodges are on that top row. That's going to be a formidable pushing group so far. They're going to lead him into turn number 1 as Kyle Maybe with a nose out in front. All clean so far for the first 2 corners, as that's Ricardo Garcia, the number 48. Had him on CRT in years past, Mr. McIntyre, as he's going to take a lunge for the lead. This 48 car, he's really looked strong. He looked very strong in his duels. He led the most amount of laps, over half of duel number 1. And that 48 looks like he's going to lead lap number 1 already in this Daytona 500.
Yeah, an aggressive move early there, taking it 3 wide to the bottom on lap 1. You know, a lot of other guys trying to just stay towards the front. I know, like Kyle Maybe, you know, quite passive drivers, you know, just trying to stick around and make it to the end of the race. But no, Ricardo, yeah, like you say, former CRT driver, won a race for us in season 1. Like he has speed on his day, and he's showing it right now.
Robbie Gordoff. It was Blake Walker who pushed him to the lead. Blake Walker has slid up to that top row to go along with Kyle Maybe here, as Robbie Gordoff, Reed Simpson, Squarius Greenhouse Jr., they're the drivers on that bottom row. Not much manufacturer alliance so far in today's race. We're going to lap 3 of 50. On board with Robbie Gordoff, do you expect that there's going to be much really tension between the manufacturers? We have 4 of them in the field, especially for a team like Simpson Autosport. They're the only Toyotas in this field. Do you expect it's going to be hard for them to find help later in today's race?
You know, there's always potential for that, but I think at a track like Daytona, you know, you kind of got to take what you get given. You know, there's not as much opportunity for you to, you know, go and find people, especially if you're out front. You just want to stick up there. So if there just so happens to be a Ford behind you or a Toyota, you just got to take what you get given and hope they don't give you a bad bump.
Yeah, and we saw earlier in duel number 2, there was a bad bump that led to what could have been a yellow flag that definitely ruined Nicholas Soa and Aris Yuko's top 5 runs in duel number 2. They got sent to the rear after finishing 19th and 20th, respectively, with backup cars. 33 of Robbie Gordoff has taken the lead side by side with Ricardo Garcia, as now the 33 seems to have a nose out in front. Quentin Haley takes a jump to the bottom lane in about 8th or 9th place. He's going underneath the 47 of Henry Guo. Still side by side up in front. The 48 had a little bit of a lead. It looks like you can hold a lead if you really get out in front that far like the 48 did. You can hold it for a tiny bit, a tiny fair amount of laps, but not that much. On board with it. Go for it.
Yeah, sorry, we kind of did see that a little bit in Duel 1 as well, when Norris Toll got out front, you know. He was able to hold on with a bit of a gap and made life a little bit more comfortable for himself there on those final few laps of Duel 1.
Absolutely. You can use those runs to your advantage to really catch a bubble. 3 wide up front as we were up on board with the 54. That was Aris Yuko. He said he's feeling confident in his backup car, but he's got, honestly, all his other teammates, the cars that he owns, up front. That was the Squarius Greenhouse Jr. in the lead. Robbie Gordoff is in the middle. He has the lead for right now. The 53 is battling back on the bottom side with Michael Guthrie in tow, pushing his teammate to the lead. He's right there on his quarter panel. I don't know if that's really indicative for a good push. He's squeezing the 01 of Norris Told there. Wow. Down the back straightaway. That was a risky move. I don't know if the 01 gave him a little nudge that he didn't like or what, but gives the lead right back to the 33.
Yeah, side drafting off of each other there, it's not beneficial for either driver. All you do is end up slowing each other down. And like you see, Robbie was just able to take full advantage of that and reclaim his lead after being stuck 3 wide in the middle.
I'd say that the trend of today so far has been the rookies, not so much experience being up front so far for the drivers. You would say Michael Guthrie and Henry Blows, who we're on board with. They're the only ones who really have a lot of experience up here. I'd say Ricardo Garcia as well. But, I mean, we have Robbie Gordoff Jr. leading a few laps. Norris Toll just making a move for the lead, and he won duel number 1. Aquarius Greenhouse Jr. Looks like the rookies are being up front early, being aggressive. I don't know, maybe the veterans are waiting until the later stages of the race to try to make some moves, but we're 3 by 3 through the field and already getting dicey up front as the 33 takes the lead once again, taking it back from the 01.
Yeah, there's rookies out here that kind of have a point to prove, people who are trying to make a name for themselves. So, like I say, if you're a veteran presence in LIMECAR, you don't really have as much to kind of prove. So maybe you just kind of want to chill out for a minute. You don't really want to have, pardon the pun, the limelight on you. But yeah, there's some guys out front at the moment, like you say, Norris Told, our guy Robbie. They want to get themselves a few laps led under the belt.
And I mean, those are valuable laps led up front. There's not many tracks where one can say almost everybody has a realistic shot of getting to the front, getting to the lead, seeing the air out front, as Aaron Giffen, another one of our rookies, another rookie team owner as well in the number 62, getting to that front of the field, 3 wide, still for the lead. Robbie Gordoff retakes it so far, but it seems to be quite interesting. I can't tell which the dominant line obviously seems to be the bottom, but if you're in that middle groove, especially coming out of turn 4, maybe that high lane, it seems like you get the run off the corners. The 62 has to side draft the 33 to even have a chance of staying in the lead, but it was the 33 at the stripe once again.
You see there as well the fact that the car on the inside always has that advantage of being able to push up and be the aggressor there. And you saw Robbie kind of got shifted up from the middle lane to the top side, and then that allowed the 16 there to get underneath both cars.
Absolutely. Zachary Ponce in the number 16, the Bones Motorsports rebranded for this season, going from Dodges to Fords. Very interesting to make note. Fords seem to have a pretty solid super speedway package, although I wouldn't say that really matters because Ian McDaniel has won 2 super speedway races, once at Daytona and once at Talladega, the last super speedway we were at as well. I'm going to take a quick note. The 04 was the outside pole sitter, and he's currently hanging out back in last. I think he's trying to really take it safe, but there might be an issue on the 04 car. But he really hasn't lost the draft. He's kind of just swapping paint with Chris Lilly so far.
Yeah, but you see these two, they've kind of dropped a little bit off the tail end of the pack there. They'd be better off working together to try to just be sure they can stick with it rather than, like you say, swapping paint and wasting time and potentially, as you say, dropping off the tail end of the pack for good.
Being in the back like that as we're on board with the 16 as Chase Gibbons with a bold move to the top side. I don't know where he was blocking to, because that's Logan Williams with a full head of steam on that bottom lane. He might have gotten loose and got shunted up, but being in the back like that has its pros, has its cons. But if there's a big wreck, I'm not sure if it really is that big of an advantage to be back there. I would say you want to be up front, as far up front as possible, to try and avoid the wrecks, because the wrecks can really happen from anywhere. As Kyle Maybe has cycled back to the back of the field, he's now hanging out back, the pole sitter as well.
Yeah, like you say, wrecks can really happen from anywhere. If they happen out front, they can take out 20 cars. But like you say as well, like they can just as easily happen from 35th place. So I know that there is an advantage to being right at the back and sort of having more time to react if it is something that happens out front. But at the same time, if it's something that happens right in front of you, it doesn't matter where you are in the field. So,
and who knows, maybe you're sitting out back waiting for 5 laps to go to really put the beans to it, or wait for a yellow with 5 to go, and then a yellow might not happen with 5 to go. We've seen countless times. I think Talladega in Season 2, as Ethan Harrison was going to take the lead from Logan Williams. Talladega in Season 2 was really the only time we saw a yellow towards the end of a race, and that led to the green-white checkered that handed Ian McDaniel the lead, or handed Ian McDaniel the win. That was the only time that we really saw a yellow towards the end of a race at a super speedway. So it's not a sure bet that we're going to see a wreck like that, especially towards the end of a race.
no, not at all. Yeah, you can't really take anything for granted, you know, and I think that's as well another reason why some of these guys want to get out front, you know. If you're out front, I know obviously there's still 35 laps to go, it's a long race, but if you're out front and, you know, we could just go caution, 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 caution until the end of the race here if people keep on wrecking on restarts and stuff like that. So long as you're out front, you've got a shot at it.
Nicholas Soa in a backup car from duel number 2. He's gone from the back to the front here in the Daytona 500 on lap 15. That 08 Chevrolet being pushed by another Chevrolet in Richard Fridge. Richard Fridge now is going to take the lead. I think the 01 kind of wanted to cycle up there. Here's Justin Haley in the 99 as well. We're on board with the 68 of Jordan Madron. Madron's going to give a shove to the 08 here. He's going to run down the back straightaway. But that backup car of the 08, I mean, a fresh body, a fresh chassis. I don't know if you want to really have a fresh car out here at Daytona. You want to have something with a little bit of miles on it. That's what these duels are here for. But, I mean, this 08 is looking pretty strong. Is able to make his way to the front of the field. Is able to command this really front of the field so far. Tyler Cook in the 43 heading that bottom lane. Richard Fridge in the 27, and then Jordan Madron in the 68. They're going to cycle up to really try and fill in these lanes here. A little bit of a gap for this 08 car, though, out front.
Yeah, he's got a bit of breathing room at the moment. We'll see if the cars behind him are able to work together a bit. You know, they're all stacked 3 wide at the moment and kind of side drafting off each other. But we'll see if they can come up to him and potentially freight train him. If he can make the right move, though, block the right lane at the right time, he might be able to hold on to it.
Absolutely. Small little tweaks to the Super Speedway package in between Season 2 and Season 3. Obviously, the car's sitting dormant for well over 3 years. Definitely does take a little factor. Increased a little bit of horsepower, but also increased a little bit of drag. So that might be a cause for effect of why you're able to get out front so much and then the cars aren't immediately swallowing you whole. But I think once these guys like Christopher Burnell, Austin Green, Justin Haley, once they get up to this 08 car, I think he's really a sitting duck. It's just a matter of when they get to him.
You see there the likes of Soa, as you were saying as well, Haley. I know we saw him up front for a couple of laps there, but he's dropped back now with Richard Fridge. Like, these are all guys that started out towards the rear and they've been able to, you know, methodically cycle their way towards the front of the pack here across the last 20 laps. So, like you say, it's really anyone's game at this point.
Absolutely, and I would say we're on lap 18. We're really nearing, I would say, the last quarter of this fuel and tire cycle run. The tires are getting well worn in. You don't really think of Daytona as a track that wears the tires out, but this surface is well over 10 years old, 15 years old. I mean, these tires are really kind of wearing out. Not super quick, but still pretty quick, and this is where the experience comes into play. Ian McDaniel has wins here. Christopher Marnell, he's got wins here. Austin Green is the only one that up here doesn't have outward super speedway experience, but he gets to lean on Ian McDaniel. Nicholas Soa, he's a NASCAR Cup Series engineer. He's seen firsthand how that these tracks can really affect and how he's able to methodically make his way through. Justin Haley, I don't think we need to say much more about him. Eris Yuko, there he is on the bottom lane. this experience really coming into play, and I think that's how these guys are really able to methodically make their way through the field and get up front. And like this 08 car, Soa was able to buy his time, and now he's commanding the field. He's really able to block these runs that these guys are coming after him with. Because we saw a few times they were trying to get up to that 08 bumper. Oh, big crash. Oh, my goodness. That's Aaron Giffen. Looks like Kaz Grala, Robbie Gordoff, Jerry Chen, Chase Gibbons. I was going on about up front, but we have a yellow here on lap 20 of 50. Big crash. As we're going to race back to the line, Eris Yuko is going to take this lead from the 08. Oh my goodness. Like you mentioned, wrecks can happen from anywhere, and it looked like that wreck happened towards the back of the field. Coming back to the yellow, we're going to take a look at this replay here. Oh, Zachary Ponce came up on the 62 of Aaron Giffen, and that kind of... Wow. I don't know what they were thinking there. Someone's spotter cleared someone by accident. Man, they were just all squeezed in right there. On board with Aaron Giffen. It looks like the 27 of Richard Fridge was the reason that Kaz Grala was staying that low. 27 gets tagged, the 37, and that 62 gets a front load of damage. So does the 13. The 60 looks like he narrowly avoids it. The 3 of Joe Kraus seems like he got a tiny piece of it. Another look at this from here.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Stacked up 4 wide there, and there was 3 cars trying to take up about 2 lanes worth of space, and eventually it just didn't work out. Yeah, unfortunately there you see our guy Garrett getting involved. You know, Robbie got a bit of it too, so looks like a bit of an expensive one for us.
On lap 20, here's Blake Walker. I mean, trying to yam on the brakes, and he looks like he gets shoved into there by Hunter Collier, and Hunter Collier is able to make it out clean, but the 88 was an unfortunate victim here. It looks like everybody's going to come down pit road. We were near the end of the pit cycle. I believe we can make it all the way to the end with this pit cycle. But the 16, the 62, the 13, the 33, the 37, 14, 88, 03, the 01, 27, 3, and 60. All the official drivers counted in that accident, as Eris Yuko is off, out, and away on pit road. I do not believe he's going to be the leader. It appears that the one of Chris Lilly took gas and go, no tires, and he's going to be the first one off of pit road. A very bold strategy. Very bold. That's going to put him to the front. Chris Lilly was almost in last. So, very interesting.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to take the opportunities given to you. You know, you see that maybe you're out towards the back. He was one of those cars, one of the 2 cars riding around right towards the rear. Sometimes, you know, you see that you have an opportunity to get yourself towards the front. You just got to take it and see if it works out.
Green flag, off and away we go. Single file restarts here for the Daytona 500. LIMECAR officials really wanted to ensure that we had clean racing off the start. So Chris Lilly's going to take him to the green, single file into turn number 1 on lap 25 of 50, just about at halfway. And there's the 97 of Austin Green already abandoning his Ford teammate, his corporate teammate, not his actual teammate, to the bottom side. And I don't know what that move was, but there's Kyle Maybe, our pole sitter, another Ford. He's going to come to the help of the 54, and that 97 is going to trail off a little bit, get some help with his friend of Jordan Madron. An aggressive move on that restart. The 97 really wanted that lead, and I don't think that worked out for quite too long.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of drivers who are a fan of the bottom lane here. It does seem to be the preferred lane in terms of making a move to get side by side with a driver. But yeah, like you say, make that move too early without support behind you or potential draft out front to pull you up, and like you say, it just stalls out and you go nowhere.
That's the 54 of Aris Hugo who just did that. The 97 looks like, oh, he's going to go 3 wide. He's not going to help either of them. Austin Green with a full head of steam. I guess it worked out. The 97's now in the lead. Look at that. What a move. Can't say I haven't seen that one before. It's been quite a while. But the 97 immediately hands the lead over to the 04 by proxy. He got his lap led. This isn't 2008. There's no bonus points for laps led, but that 97 got the lead for a split second. Got it when it mattered. It's going to be on the scorecard for leading lap 26, as Christian Visconti now leads with lap 27 of 50. Already kind of back up to 3 wide through the field here. A little bit of dragglers out back. Those are the cars that were involved in the incident. But yeah, 3x3 up through the field already. That is Santiago Nicolas in the 83. He's going to get to the front with help from Christopher Marnell. The pack formulated nice and clean thus far. It looks like no issues so far through the field. 3x3, pretty uniform. Do you think they learned their lesson from last time?
Absolutely not. No, we saw it on the restart there with the 97, trying to make an aggressive move. He tried it the first lap, didn't work out, but he learned his lesson as when to make his move. And right as he got into turn 3 there, he jumped down to the bottom, made it work that time. I think he got a bit too excited and just gave the lead straight up. So yeah, no, they're definitely still keeping that aggressive kind of mantra alive. So yeah, it feels like the wick got turned up to 11 there early with Ricardo Garcia's 3 wide move on the first lap, and I don't think they've let off the gas since then.
Absolutely not. No fuel saving out here in these LIMECAR Cup cars. Tyler Cook takes the lead. Honestly, on his own, he was able to muscle around that 83 really on his own. A renowned GT3 driver, raced in Grand Am, raced in IMSA, has a trophy case to show for it. And he's now in a full-body stock car for probably the first time in his career, or the first time in a very long time. Tyler Cook out in front for the CRT group in the number 43. He's got the Squarius Greenhouse Jr. trying to come alongside him. As here's the second little pack of cars, the 33 of Robbie Gordoff being pushed by Norris Told. The 01 was involved in that incident. It looks like these guys are still keeping pace, just a little bit off the pace, off the ways. I think they'll be able to try to make their way back up through the field, especially if there's a late yellow. I think these guys are absolutely still in it.
Yeah. It'll work out a little bit better here for Robbie if Norris Told would like to stick behind him. He obviously doesn't have the pace when he's out of the draft, but yeah, it looks like Robbie's starting to make his way back up there. It was an unfortunate moment for that he got involved in, because we'd seen him out front, and yeah, just it's unfortunate timing. Right as he got cycled towards the rear, that's when the caution happens. That's the thing with a super speedway, it can strike at any time. So you never really know what's the right place to be, out front or out back.
I would say the one guy who's the safest is that 43 of Tyler Cook, commanding the field, as there's the 46 of Ryan Marone getting a shove from the 29 of Cam Arrow. A little bit of wiggle there from Squarius Greenhouse Jr. We have a yellow. Oh, there's the 97 around. He was just in the lead, and he gets sent around into the inside tire barrier. The yellow is going to come out on lap 31 of 50. And yeah, that's just how quickly your luck can change. The 97 had the lead on lap 27 and is now in the fence on lap 31. We're going to take a look and see what happened. We're on board with the 1 of Chris Lilly. The 97 was just leaving too much room.
Not clear, unfortunately. Yeah, like you say, just a bad call there from the spotter. I don't know, for whatever vantage point he had, he couldn't see just how far up the inside the other car was there. But yeah, either way, there was was a car to the inside. Oh, he kind of got squeezed down. Actually, that angle kind of shows it a little better.
Yeah, it looks like Christian Visconti really squeezed the 97 down. I mean, as a spotter, you're so far away. That's almost a mile and a half from the spotter stand, and this isn't like any other track. The backstretch isn't banked like an Atlanta or a Charlotte, so you don't really have depth of how things are gonna go. So just really unfortunate for Austin Green. He's able to stay in the lead as we did not have any drivers come down pit road. So we're going to get right back to the restart here. Pace car's going to pull in on lap 36 or 35 of 50, coming to lap 36. Green flag, Tyler Cook out front here at Daytona. Still have potential for some more yellows, but already, that's the 47 and 27 teammates. They're jumping out together. That's about 15th in line. This is lap 35. Pardon me, not 36. I mean, is this the point in the race? You've got 16 laps to go, Tommy. What do you think from your experience? You've raced rally before, obviously a little bit different of a sport, especially in the motorsports realm, but you have to take it easy through the first few stages, especially first few stages of the race, and then you really have to put the hammer down. You got to know when to go, especially if you're somebody like Christopher Ronell, Ian McDaniel, Matthew Fastnot in the back. When is it time to go? When do you know? Because you really have to pace yourself to get to this from the field. It's a lot of discipline. When do you just let the wicker off and tell them to put the beans to it?
Yeah, I think it's all dependent on the situation. If you've got a pack already formulated and there's only, like you say, 10 or so laps left in the race, I think you've just got to start making moves then. Right here, we've got an interesting one because you are getting into that, like you say, the late stage of the race here, but we're only just getting the pack formed back up here. So I think while we're getting drivers back up together, you don't want to be making too many aggressive moves, but sooner or later you are going to have to make a move if you are one of those cars that's stuck towards the back, but like Robbie trying to make his way up from being stuck in that first caution.
Logan Williams on board, Chevy's out in front. I would say these two are in the catbird seat right now, obviously, about 37 and 50. The place to be is out front, but at the same time, not really. You want to be able to generate that run to get to the front, be able to generate your moves. So it's almost like a double-edged sword, almost. Like, sure, the 43, he's been leading a lot of laps. This Tyler Cook machine looks bad fast, but we'll see if it plays out, especially with how this pack is. I mean, we're straight line out front. It looks like a 3-car tandem out here. Nicholas Soa in the 08, trying to make it 4 cars. Descorius Greenhouse Jr. immediately vindicates everything I just said and goes underneath the 17.
Yeah, that move there by Greenhouse Jr. This is exactly what we're talking about. Like, you can have a little 3-car breakaway like we saw there, and it can work out. Sure, we even saw, that was an aggressive move by Soa. You can see, even 1-car breakaways like the 08 had. They can work out for a little bit, but if you really want to make something last for a tangible length of time, a decent length of time, you want to have a couple of cars together supporting each other, because I think you're going to see here with Tyler Cook, he's going to get swallowed up here sooner rather than later.
Soa made a bold move to block the 46 of Ryan Barone, and I don't think it fully worked out for him because he got to the tri-oval and immediately washed up. I don't think that was on his own. I think he got loose, but in a weird sort of way, the 43 got further out in front, but if you look behind him, that's formed up the pack. We're now 2x2 through the field through about 20-25 cars now.
Yeah, and especially when you see it 2 wide, that's scary hours. When it's 3 wide and they're all taking a little bit of air off each other, that's packing a bit of air onto the rear spoilers. That can make life a little bit easier if you've got some breathing room out front. But when you see them side by side and they can space themselves out when they're on the straightaways, not be packing the air as much, that's when they get these giant runs. That's when it gets hard to block.
Harry Williams is making it 3 wide, and he's moving his way up through the field little by little, winningest driver in LIMECAR history. This 01, the rebranded Creation Motorsports with a new technical alliance with their counterparts across the aisles in Dublin with CRT. I'm sure you guys are really excited about that. They were a Toyota outfit. They knew that you guys had extra Chevrolets laying around, and it looks like it's going to be beneficial for both sides.
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, like I know these cars have been sitting around for a few years, but we had already been dealing with HRT. They had bought some Gen 6 chassis off of us, and obviously we were supplying all their engines for all their chassis. So yeah, it just made perfect sense with another British Isles-based team switching to Chevrolet. They had engines that we could ship just right across the border to them. So it's a lot easier when you're trying to deal with a team that's based just across the Irish Sea instead of having to cargo things over to the United States. So yeah.
It definitely seems like a match made in heaven, especially for both teams. I think it was the right choice for both of you guys, as we've got 3 wide packed up through the field now. It looks like Harry Williams was the main conquistador of trying to get that middle lane going, and now it looks like he's stalled out. He's got Ian McDaniel. He's got 3 Fords right in front of him. He was making his way through the field. Now he's just stuck on lap 42 of 50. This is going to be quite interesting to see how this plays out. Here's Henry Guo. He's that lead car on the bottom with Santiago Nicolas trying to command this front of the field, leaving that bottom open into turn 3, the 47. Season 1 champion. He knows how to get his way around Daytona. Not too much luck at the super speedways, but I gotta say, you can't count those DAF Racing Chevrolets out. They had a front row lockout stretch for a long period of time, especially at the super speedways. There's Santiago Nicolas now taking the lead. He's the first non-Tyler Cook leader since about lap 29. And it's funny, guess who was the driver that Tyler Cook took the lead from? It was Santiago Nicolas. So very interesting. As here's the 54 of Aris Yuko going to the bottom side. We have a lapped car potentially in the way. It's going to be the 16. We'll see if that plays a factor. He's being told to get out of the way. Oh, he is so slow. Oh, my goodness.
Which lane's he going to pick?
Oh, he's going to try to block all of them. That is not ideal. He's going to block the 83. He's going to block the 47. The 54 is going to get out in front. And that middle lane's going to get stacked all the way up.
Yikes.
Hopefully they're able to swallow him whole, but oh, that's not good. Jerry Chen in the 37 rightfully getting almost on the apron, as the 16's really going to shove everybody up.
Yeah, man, really jumbled the back.
That is just a massive clog. A lot of good cars back there getting sent to the back. I would say the 5, the 08, everybody is pissed, screaming over the radio as, don't look now, Tyler Cook is retaking the lead. But man, that is just so unfortunate for all these guys.
Yeah, and like you said, there was a middle lane getting formed up there by Harry Williams, and it's one of those ones where he was kind of the person who created that entire line. Then people decided that they liked what was coming out of that lane. They joined up on it, and then all of a sudden, a complete random chance like that just so happens that the 16 chose the middle lane, and all of a sudden it gets backed up, and you can just get screwed by something that's completely out of your control like that.
So now we have a pack of about, I'd say this is 12 to 13, maybe 14 or 15 cars. I might be overestimating that. I think it's about 12 or 13. Henry Guo out in front. We saw Ian McDaniel take the lead for a short amount of time. I think this is where the veteran presence starts to take play. The 83 of Santiago Nicolas was in that little mess. I think he was the main car that was being blocked, and now he's back up into this pack. So very interesting. the 83 was able to really suck up to the back of this field with about 5 laps to go. The 46 of Ryan Barone. We'll see if anybody else is able to make it happen, but they're well behind, over 20 car lengths back. Henry Guo is out in front. Norris Told in second. Coming to 4 laps to go here in the Daytona 500.
Norris Told, obviously dual 1 winner, so there's definitely potential in that car to be making moves for the lead here. So both the DAF cars, the creation cars, obviously also over at CRT, there's a lot of speed and a lot of experience within these Chevrolet teams this season. So there's a lot of talent on the line in the Chevrolet camp.
Absolutely. And not to mention the new Chevrolet outfits. We have Darkhorse Racing, 1-3 Motorsports, and Madron Motorsports. All of those with a lot of different backers. 1-3 Racing with backing from former NASCAR team owner Todd Braun. We have Darkhorse Racing, obviously, Justin Haley, Quentin Haley, and Kaz Grala. And then also, you have to remember, Madron Motorsports, they have Nicholas Soa and Jordan Madron. Nicholas Soa is at Spire Motorsports, and Jordan Madron works at Hendrick Motorsports. So a lot of technical greatness, I would say, at those Chevrolet camps. This is the front of this second pack, Strokey Banger, trying to push them, trying to lead them forwards, trying to get them to the back of this pack. I don't know if it's going to happen with 3 laps to go, but they're really trying out here. Henry Guo still out in front, the 01. The 60 of Hunter Collier has joined the fray here out front, and the 04 of Matthew Fastnot, your outside pole sitter, here he comes. These Mudfish Motorsports Dodges have been pretty stout so far. They've been up front and fat. They've had an outside pole sitter. They've had a dual 2 winner. And then now they've got 2 cars in this top 10. Scratch that. We've got the 83 now in second with a huge push from Ian McDaniel on 2 laps to go.
83 looks bad fast. Like you say, he got caught up in that incident with the lap car, but he's right back up here again now.
Right back up there. White flag in the air. Ian McDaniel going up to help push this 83. 83 all over the back bumper of the 47. Down to the bottom he goes. Henry Guo leaves the bottom open. Henry Guo, the Season 1 champion, makes a rookie move as the 83. Tyler Cook laying off, trying to get that run. Tyler Cook going to look to the bottom side. We're still 2x2 up front.
Oh, Tyler.
2 more corners to go. 1 more mile to go. The 43 all over the back bumper of the 83. The 47 has ceded the point. It's Santiago Nicholas out in front. Who's it going to be? Tyler Cook dives to the bottom. Here we go. It's going to be a photo finish here at Daytona. And it's Santiago Nicholas by 3/100ths of a second. The line.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Tyler, if the start-finish line was 20 feet further, it would have been the 43. Heartbreak for Tyler Cook. Led the most laps, but it's Santiago Nicholas in his first career start getting the win here at Daytona. Wow, what a finish.
That was very close. That was very good. And it was good as well to see both the 83 and the 43, the 2 cars that had kind of dominated the second half of the race, come down to those 2. So well deserved.
That was how close it was. That was, I mean, the 43 got a hell of a run coming to the line. That was quite impressive. But Santiago Nicholas going to burn it down in an abnormal spot. Nobody really ever burns down over there, but he's showing the Turn 1 fans some love. It was the 83 and the 43 who really, as you said, dominated the second half of the race. And how poetic, how storybook is it to see that these 2 were in a photo finish together to end the race. And it was the 83 who was able to take the win. What a great race. I mean, it's unfortunate we had the lap car, but Mr. McGuire, I mean, that was such a great race, man. What are your thoughts, initial thoughts post-race here?
Yeah, obviously, gutted for my guys over at CRT to miss out in such a close fashion like that. But hey, no, we had some good racing there, and excited to see what the rest of the season has in store for all of our LimeCar fans.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great start to the season. Bouncing off the wall goes to 83. As we're going to take a look at our finishing results, Santiago Nicholas, Tyler Cook, Henry Guo, Eris Yuko, Ian McDaniel, your top 5. Ryan Barone, Hunter Collier, Chris Lilly, Quentin Haley, Matthew Fastnut, rounding out your top 10. Jordan Madron, Desquarius Greenhouse Jr., Norris Cole, Christopher Arnell, and Chase Gibbons. Strokey Banger, Richard Fridge, Kyle Mabey, Anthony Foss, and Ethan Harrison. That's your top 20. Kyle Mabey started on the pole, finishes 18th. Matthew Fastnut started on the outside pole, finishes 2nd. So pretty solid showing from those front row drivers. I know they like to say Daytona is a bit of a crapshoot, but I'd say they had a pretty good run for today's race. Cam Wright Jr., Reed Simpson, Nicholas Soa, Ricardo Garcia, Logan Williams, top 21st through 25. Michael Guthrie, Aaron Giffen, Brayson Collins, Christian Visconti, and Harry Williams. Unfortunate to see Harry Williams finishing in 30th, but I'd say you gotta have a winner and loser, and everybody fills it out. And it's unfortunate that 10 car. We know he has speed through the rest of the season. Cam Arrow, Kaz Grala, Robbie Gordoff, Justin Haley, Garrett Lamar, and Joe Kraus, Austin Green, Jerry Chen, Blake Walker finish them out. We'll go through the standings. I mean, we just had a really good race here so far. It really showed their might as you get to see a look at the points distribution for the rest of the season. This is how it'll be. First gets 60, second gets 50, and then 45, 43, 39, 37, and on throughout. Any final
Crazy.
words? Go for it.
Crazy there. You were saying about, what was it, three 100s, and that was the difference there between 60 points and 50 points. So it's a tough game to play.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be something that winning matters, especially here in LimeCar. No win and you're in system. It's a season-long points format, but you really have to realize that every race, every win matters. If you can get the difference between first place and second place is 10 points, but even then, the difference between second and third is 5 points. So every position is going to matter, and looks like it's going to be the start to a great season. Any final notes before we go off the air for today's Daytona 500?
Yeah, not really. Just happy that at least one of our cars was able to make it through the madhouse to this Daytona and get a good finish. And looking forward, like I said, looking forward to the rest of the season ahead. Looks like we're in a good spot. And like you say as well, on your side of things, looks like it's going to be an exciting season for all parties involved. So yeah, just excited to see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, Mr. McGuire, thank you so much for joining us up in the booth, and we will see you all next week for race number 2. It's going to be Atlanta, the track that chews up the tires. It's certainly going to be an interesting one. We've seen a lot of good things from the tire tests there. From everybody up in the booth, we thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you all next week.